Most Valuable Promotions has announced that the November 14 exhibition bout between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul has been cancelled, due to what only can be described as karmic justice for all. The news comes just days after Davis was hit with a civil lawsuit from his ex-girlfriend, who accused him of battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The Paul Davis exhibition was supposed to headline Netflix's next foray into event sports streaming, and was drawing intrigue largely due to the bizarre weight disparity. Davis is a lightweight champion, while Paul is a cruiserweight whose brand, if not skill, rivals anyone in boxing today. Beating Davis to the punch, though, is the legal system. Again, Tank's rap sheet includes numerous charges related to domestic violence, as well as fleeing the scene of a car accident. This latest case comes just 2 months after another domestic violence charge, filed by a different ex, was dismissed. The big money fight should have been canned then, but instead, Paul used it as promotional material.
Anybody that ever rocked a mohawk is a clown. We all know this. Anybody rocked a mohawk, name them.
You want to see clowns? You want to see clowns? Gervonta, you're the clown, buddy. You're the clown, Gervonta. Any man who puts his hands on a woman is the clown.
While we will not be moving forward with this event, our plan still remains for Jake Paul to headline an event on Netflix in 2025, said MVP's CEO. Details regarding a new date, location, Jake's opponent, and additional bouts will be shared as soon as they are finalized. With millions of dollars on the line, MVP reportedly scrambled to find a replacement for Davis to keep the date alive. Former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou claimed he'd been approached, but he passed, saying it didn't make sense at this point in his career. Other potential names including Ryan Garcia, the retired pound-for-pound #1 Andre Ward, and even his old foe Nate Diaz reportedly also said, "Thanks, but no thanks." This all leaves Jake Paul without an opponent, which serves him right for almost rewarding a man who beats up women. With Gervonta Davis out of the Jake Paul fight, some have refloated a previous, wild alternative: Anthony Joshua. According to his promoter Eddie Hearn, the two-time unified heavyweight champ could be returning in December, though no opponent has been confirmed. Joshua hasn't fought since being stopped by Daniel Dubois at Wembley last September. Hearn recently teased an ambitious comeback tour for AJ, which could include a fight in Africa and the long-dreamed clash with Tyson Fury in 2026. But could Joshua take this opportunity to fight Jake Paul, after Paul publicly called him out back in June of this year? Of course we'd take the fight, smiled Hearn. It would be a nice way to just end Paul's little journey. Speaking of journeys that refuse to end, Manny Pacquiao might be gearing up for one last megafight. The 45-year-old icon hinted at a possible rematch of his 2015 blockbuster with Floyd Mayweather Jr. set for 2026.
I love to have a fight with a rematch with Floyd Mayweather. So I hope that, the negotiations we can understand each other and we can negotiate well.
While his 2015 fight with Mayweather, billed as the fight of the century, ended in a loss, it was later revealed that he went into the bout with a torn shoulder that required surgery. Plus, they both made more money than any boxer had ever earned in history, so obviously he'd want to do it again. After serving as a Filipino senator and making an unsuccessful run for president, Pacquiao was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame earlier this year. Apparently, though, he wasn't quite done punching history in the mouth. Just a month after his induction, Pacquiao returned to the ring and came within a whisper of becoming the oldest welterweight champion ever. A majority draw with Mario Barrios kept him one belt short of more history, but it proved that even at age 46, the legend still had gas left in the tank. As for Mayweather, retirement has been more of a suggestion than a rule. The 48-year-old last fought professionally in 2015, before then ending his official career at 50-0 with a win in 2017 over Conor McGregor, who had never boxed professionally in his life. Since then, Mayweather's been on the exhibition circuit, collecting checks against Jake's brother Logan Paul, minuscule kickboxing sensation Tenshin Nasukawa, and most recently, Mafia royalty John Gotti III, just to name a few of his celebrity opponents. But his next stop might be the most surreal yet. Last month, CSI Sports announced an exhibition bout between Mayweather and the former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson. What this all means for Pacquiao is that while Mayweather is retired, he's still active. So maybe this could actually be a thing.
I'm waiting for the final, negotiation. But right now, there's a possible rematch with Floyd Mayweather, and also there's a fight with Lomachenko and other fighter.
Pac-Man has always sought elite challenges, and to prove it, the other name he dropped was Vasyl Lomachenko. Loma, who just retired at age 37 after setting records for winning titles across 3 divisions in the least amount of fights, is a challenge and a half. So even if a belt isn't on the line, it's clear that Pac-Man genuinely wants to continue testing himself. Back to the heavyweights. The undisputed champion Alexander Usyk's next move remains a mystery, and it's driving one man nuts: the new WBO interim champion Fabio Wardley. "I hope he's a man of his word and it comes off," said Wardley. "It has been mandated by the WBO. I know his team came out and said they were keeping an eye on the fight and were happy to take on the winner. I believe him to be a man of his word." The undefeated Wardley earned his shot with a thrilling win over Joseph Parker to grab the interim title and mandatory status for the WBO belt, which Usyk holds amongst his collection. The Ukrainian could vacate if he wants a different fight, but to stay undisputed, he'll need to face the 30-year-old Brit sooner than later. But if Usyk still dreams of luring Tyson Fury out of retirement for a lucrative trilogy bout, swerving Wardley makes the most dollars and cents. And finally, a big win from the lighter ranks. Former 2-division champion Mikaela Mayer became the unified champ at junior middleweight. She dominated Mary Spencer to claim the WBA title, as well as the vacant WBC and WBO belts. Steve Garcia showed up like a man on a mission for his first UFC main event, and he went home with another highlight reel performance. Garcia stopped David Onama in the first round to close out Fight Night 263 for his 7th straight win, 6 of them finishes. From the opening bell, Garcia hunted Onama with sharp, relentless pressure. The left hand that dropped the Ugandan felt inevitable, and though he briefly stood back up, Garcia poured on strikes until the ref had seen enough, but he only wants more. "You know what? I'm going to throw a little curveball in there. I want the Rocky Balboa story. I want the Max Holloway BMF title," said Garcia. And it could be the making of a Hollywood screenplay. Holloway just defended his BMF title in a thriller against Dustin Poirier, which keeps his name well and truly in the lightweight mix. But the former featherweight king might not be first in line. Holloway's last fight at featherweight ended with a knockout loss to the then-champ Ilia Topuria. But Topuria, the newly crowned lightweight champion, seems far more interested in settling old business with Paddy Pimblett, or taking on the former interim light and BMF champion Justin Gaethje. But Gaethje's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, hinted that Dana White's plans stretch beyond the current rumor mill. According to him, the UFC CEO wants to wait until after Jack Della Maddalena and Islam Makhachev fight for the welterweight title before making any future plans. So perhaps Max could give Garcia the blockbuster he wants.
He is a being man for every sense of the word, man.
And in the co-main, Waldo Cortes-Acosta stopped Ante D'Elia by first-round TKO after some divine rulebook irony. A week after D'Elia's teammate, the heavyweight champ Tom Aspinall, got poked in the eyes, Dalia accidentally gouged Cortes-Acosta mid-exchange before getting knocked out. It initially looked like Dalia had scored the TKO, only for the Nevada Commission to intervene after a replay confirmed the eye poke. Once cleared to continue, Cortes-Acosta reset, reloaded, and promptly starched Dalia with a finishing combination that left no ambiguity. So why isn't the fight happening between me and Tom Aspinall, he asked, clearly looking to skip the title cue. Tom Aspinall says Dalia is one of the best, and look what happened. Then what can happen between Tom Aspinall and Waldo Cortes? No Fight of the Night bonuses were handed out at UFC Fight Night 263, but performance checks went to Steve Garcia and Waldo Cortes-Acosta, as well as Alan Nascimento and Dante Johnson for their second-round submission victories. In other UFC news, Jiří Procházka is getting restless. The former light heavyweight champion wants another title rematch with Alex Pereira, the man who handed him his only 2 losses since 2016. Except Pereira might be plotting a move to heavyweight. If that happens, Procházka could follow his instincts and his metabolism down to middleweight, where the new champion, Khamzat Chimaev, is currently without an opponent. I believe I can make it to middleweight with my body, because I know my body. So, I believe I can make it, but it depends, said Procházka. I really first want to bring the title to Czech Republic, light heavyweight. So once again, his fate lies in the hands of Poatan.
Thanks for watching, and remember, if you want more fight sports in your life, just hit the subscribe button.